Good to see you from wherever you're watching us. It's a lovely Thursday evening and it feels good to be here. Thanks for joining us for another edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, let me give you a quick rundown of the things to look out for on the show tonight. We'll, of course, keep our eyes on what's going on in England as it concerns the English Premier League. Liverpool up against Burnley. If there's anything to report, we'll revert to that. Well, it's 23 days to Nigeria's mini Olympics, talking about the National Sports Festival. And on this show, we will begin a countdown to that big event. So we'll be talking about it as we move on the show. Well, marathons in Nigeria is beginning to spread like wildfire. And we're going to take a look at the reasons behind the success and there's always room for improvement. In fact, the biggest room in any house is the room for improvement. So we'll also talk about that. There's somebody special that you would love to listen to. He has a lot to say about marathons and how it's springing up in all corners, different corners of the country. So we'll do that as well. And also take a look at the Olympics. The International Olympic Committee, the president, talking about Thomas Bach, says there's no plan B. The Olympics will be held this year. But health experts have something else to say. So we'll also put that in focus on the show tonight. All right, let me introduce my partner tonight. He joins me from the start. And, of course, we're going to be here till the end of the show. Bulomoli, good to see you. Thank you for being here again. This lovely Thursday evening.
Good to be here again. After just a day after Cristiano Ronaldo became the most prolific goal scorer, you talked about the National Sport Festival. I like the spirit. Same way with the Olympic Games. No matter what's going on, no one is thinking about why we should not host for now. Let's get our act together. We'll host these events no matter what happens. I like the spirit. And I hope as much as we are fighting to host these events, we also try to be very, very cautious, very careful. We've heard so many people say COVID is false. And I tell people, I pray you don't have a family member get infected before you believe it's real. So I think I like the spirit in sports. Sports are going on. We had different series of tests in England. They are still going on. We heard of Spain. They are still going on. So I can't wait for Valentine's Day. While some are doing their Valentine's, we are thinking about the sports festival.
We will start. All right. So that's the outlook of the show today. And that's where we start. Let's start with the countdown. Officially, it's 23 days to go to the main one. So let's just show that to you. If you were counting the days as we have, let me say it again, it's 23 days to go to Nigeria's mini Olympics. That's talking about the National Sports Festival. That's a little over 3 weeks. That's just 3 weeks and 2 days. And just like Bolu said, everything has been shrouded. Everything, the talks about COVID-19 has colored everything. But the positive is that nobody's talking about plan B. We all know COVID-19 is here. So the best approach is always COVID-19 is here, we have to do this, so let's take all the necessary precautions.
I think the first thing everyone should do, the government, the states hosting, everyone is sensitize the fans. Sensitize the fans, because MPFA, we've had stories of people scaling, at least, if I'm not sure of anyone, I'm sure about Agege Stadium in Lagos here, fans scaling fence, getting to the stadium. We saw pictures from Eyimba, we saw pictures from Port Harcourt. Let the fans know that we are doing this for you.
Yeah.
At Olympic Games without the fans is not the same thing, but the fact that we can still watch from the comfort of our home means it's something. So I think they should sensitize the fans more, because everyone wants to get involved. Everyone wants to see what's happening. Let them know that, yes, we know you want to be there, but you can watch, but it means we have to find a way to make sure people watch. Even if it's not the activities or events live, at least let's have clips over time. We've had issues with MPFL now that offside or not, but because of, let's enjoy these games sitting at home. That way, if you promise someone that, okay, you can't be there, but for whatever reason, I'll make it up to you. We'll see this game. Even if we can't see all, we can't watch all the Olympic Games live, but at least you can see clips of one or two things. So I think that will be the best idea. Let's tell them. News broke, I think, yesterday that the states will make about 165 million from registration of 11,000 athletes. We've heard reports of the money is too much, 15K per athlete, whatever. Let's just start this event. Like you rightly said, 23 days to the event. We are counting down. Valentine's Day, just chill and enjoy the 2020 edition of the Sports Festival, even though it's in 2021.
All right. I can't agree less with Bolu. The coverage has to be top-notch, and I hope the organizers will work on that. And this unique situation has presented us with opportunities to be creative.
Yeah.
As we creative, there's a lot of sporting content, and people love quality. You give them quality, they'll be hooked on it. So you can't watch all the events live, but of course you can watch some delayed events.
Yep.
One will take, one probably will come before the other, but the ones you don't get to see, maybe a delayed broadcast and do all of that. And hopefully the people will get the message that if you stay away, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for everybody to ensure that there is no spread. And if the news we're hearing, especially South Africa, United Kingdom, if it's anything to go, and it's not even if it's everything to go, I mean, what we are hearing is scary. And it's our prayer that we don't have such in here. So hopefully the organizers, and just to also buttress your point, nobody has told us that they're working on any plan B. Nobody has told us. We had a discussion with the local organizing committee chairman, the deputy governor of Edo State. I mean, he occupies the choice. Says for now, that kind of discussion has not been held. So you could take it for granted that it's going to hold, unless in the next 23 days something else happens.
I think I like what they're doing. Nobody wants to think about the unless. But again, like we talked about coverage, if you've noticed the Premier League since the resumption of games last season, their goal rush is not as it used to be. Now they move almost all stadiums when the games are together, just so everyone can have a feeling of what's happening everywhere. This COVID-19 period, as much as there are more negatives, there are positives to pick from everywhere. So I just can't wait for February 14 and let's move on from there.
All right. So let's just quickly go to Enugu State and talk, listen to how they're preparing for the National Sports Festival. We do that. We're back for more on Sports Tonight.
Enugu State is fully prepared for the National Sports Festival that will be coming up on February. You know, this is the maybe the third time the festival has been cancelled. Even before the last decision, we are prepared for the tournament. We are still training up to this moment, so we are fully prepared. The government has done what it's supposed to do, and the athletes are working hard so that they will be able to excel. Well, in the issue of funding, if Enugu State is not funding the athletes for the tournament, we won't be prepared. The initial time last year, the approval has been gotten. The state government has been approved all the necessary things that are supposed to, and all the approval that are supposed to be given for that festival. The governor has done that before then. Even up till now, we are fully ready.
All right, that's it. So all the states are ready, no plan B. Everybody is planning to be there for the games, and can only wish the organizers and participating states, athletes, everybody, all the best as we go on. All right, let's switch gears now and talk about marathons. You know, in Nigeria, I said earlier in my introduction that it looks like marathon events beginning to spread like wildfire all across. It's becoming a culture that we're getting used to. To help us get some more, get perspective on all of that, somebody who needs little or no introduction joins us on the show. Yusuf Ali joins us, Technical Director of the Lagos City Marathon. Greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very fine. And you?
I'm good.
All right, let's just dive straight into it. Let's leave the Lagos City Marathon aside for a while. I want to talk about the marathons. It's springing up everywhere these days. I mean, what are the reasons that you could give for that? For me, it's a positive sign. A lot of sports lovers too. But what are the reasons why it appears like we're not having marathons springing up and also helping the sports culture in the country?
I think first and foremost it will be for health reasons. People have realized that if you stay fit, you stay healthy, and you prolong your lifespan. And if you look at other countries and even states, a state like New York, for example, has over 70 marathons and road races. So I think that, to me, we're just starting, and I like the trend. And I hopefully my goal is that we can drive up to like 2,000 marathon on road race in this country. Then people will look better. I mean, people will live better and are more fit. Every look and clean you go in this country now, people are now, I mean, warming up or jogging or doing some form of exercising. I think it's good for us as a nation. It's good for us as a state.
All right, I know the health benefits are enormous, but let's also look at the sports. In terms of organization, top marks, the events springing up, but in terms of participating, in terms of Nigerians doing well in marathons, it appears we still have a long way to go.
Well, I mean, not really. I think what happened was that we're doing very well in the past. If you look at, let me take you back to like 1984, when the world record in marathon was 2:06. Nigerian record was 2 hours 14. And now the world record is at 2:01. We are still at 2 hours 14, meaning that we went to sleep. But we have all the materials. The guys are trying. Look at when we started Lagos Marathon, the time posted by Nigeria were like 2 hours 30. But now they are down to 2 hours 22, 2 hours 21. I think the sharp dropping in the time is, I mean, it's not bad. It's very encouraging. I can bet you that in the next 4 or 5 years, Nigeria will back into the 2:12, 2:10 range. And that will make sure, I mean, that will tell you that Nigeria can actually qualify for Olympic Games. Look at the marathon this year, February 13. The whole world is coming to Lagos because it's an Olympic qualifier. People can actually come here and qualify for Olympic Games, and this is what our athletes, we benefit because we are so to say hosting. That gives them opportunity for a lot of them to take part in the event, whereas people are coming from all over the world paying tickets and try to qualify for the games. I think we have opportunity that the race are everywhere, and I'll give kudos to teams like Nilayo that bringing all these things up. I think Nigeria in the nearest future will be reckoned with when it comes to marathon.
All right. I mean, you occupy a unique position, someone who's done sports, someone who's in administration now, and of course there's a lot to learn from you. Even though we may not agree as to how wide the gap is, but I think we will agree that between us and the countries doing well in marathons, there is a gap. So how many years of consistency, how many years of doing the right things do you think we would need to maybe not be on the level of Ethiopia and Kenya, but at least be on their shoulders?
Well, I would say between 4 and 5 years for what we are doing now. If you look at us 5 years ago, we ran a 2:30, 2 hours 30 in the marathon. Now we are down to 2:20. I mean, we've chalked off 10 minutes in 5 years. If you can do that in another 5 years, another 10 minutes, then that is 2:10. I mean, you are there with the world. But at the same time, we have a lot to do. The reason is that we don't have all those races like the 10-kilometer race, apart from Kwekwe. We need more of 10 kilometers, more of 15 kilometers to actually propel our runners to now be thinking about running the marathon. And also the issue of program. We need coaches that will actually give these guys the right program, because when going to school in the US, I see the way these Kenyans train. They train 3 times a day. They wake up in the morning, go and do a morning run of about an hour. You know, they have a log they keep. I think these are the things that we are missing, and hopefully with the right approach and the technique, I think we'll do well. Seriously. All right.
Before I leave this matter, let me just ask you this one quickly. It came to my mind while you were speaking. What are the essential ingredients an athlete needs? Because marathons definitely not for everybody. A lot of people focus more on the sprints, and probably the mid distance races, but the long distance races, a lot of people don't. So as somebody who knows how to spot talents, what are the things that are unique, the things that a person who wants to evolve, wants to do well in marathons, what are the basics that is needed?
Okay, I think it's very simple. If you look at a typical Kenya, they are built, and you go to Bauchi, go to Jos, go to up north, I mean, it's the same build. Look at the Fulani, it's the same thing. But the issue is just the right training and the approach. You must run every day. You have to run. I mean, that's the issue of marathon. These guys, they run 2 hours a day, 1 hour a day. They have a log that they will do like 72 miles a week. And once you can do that, then to run 2 hours, then it becomes much easier. But it's very hard work. You cannot, and at the same time, talk about physique. You cannot have someone as fat as me trying to do a marathon. It has to be a lanky guy or a very slim lady. Then that's how I think you are structured for the event rather than the sprint. Although some sprinters too have that tendency of being lanky, but on the average, you have to be very, very strong and muscular. But for the marathoners, just a skinny guy will do.
All right. Let's talk about the Lagos City Marathon. COVID-19 has affected everybody, but we're hearing cheering news, even from London. They're saying in spite of everything, they want to break records. They want to have more than 5,000 runners. So what are the things to look forward to? I know there will be adjustments, but I know the event is also still going to be held. So what are the major adjustments for this year because of the current situation we find ourselves in?
I think we have to give kudos to the Lagos State government to start with. I mean, because of pandemic, you can't just shut down and don't do anything. At the same time, we have a COVID-19 protocol relating to marathon, which we are going to do. For example, I'll just give you a few examples. Like if I'm wearing number 10 on my running bib, on the floor where I'm going to start, there'll be number 10 there. You just go straight to your point. The 2 meters apart, social distance must be adhered to. The call room, there'll be water to wash your hands with soap, sanitizer, everything will be in place. Like in the issue, the area of water that people will give you water, no, we'll not do that. The waters will be on the table. You just pick up yourself. We have your refreshments. You go there by yourself. The only thing that we're going to do for you is the sponging. The sponging. We dip in the water and we'll try and give you a small sprinkle on your face to help you out. But we are going to run very few people. In the past, we used to run over 100,000 runners, but now it's going to be very, very few. The elite and some top clubs in Lagos, because people are coming here to qualify for Olympic Games, and we've been picked as Olympic qualifier, so we cannot just let that one go. At the same time, football is going on in Europe. As we speak today, there is the uniform games in Abuja going on. So, we must continue with our life. But at the same time, we must be aware, and we don't want to be a spreader. So we'll put everything in place to make sure that everybody's, do the right thing. I think that is the first and foremost thing we're up to during the COVID-19 protocol.
All right. From what you've said, I could easily deduce that the running field has been trimmed down significantly, and that some events, maybe the ones that the families usually have, probably will not hold as well.
At all, we have cleverly cancelled the 10-kilometer race, because that's the one that brings the whole lot of crowd. Even at the finish point, there will be no single entertainment at the finish point. Only the first, second, third will be given their medals at that point, and that's it. We don't want anybody at the finish point, other than the runners. All medals will be collected at Tessin Balogun Stadium after the event. We have cancelled the expo. We don't want people at the expo. We're going to call you and give you your goodie bags, your running number, because we have all the numbers of those we are bringing. So we'll call you to come on a specific date. We don't want crowd. I want to maintain what we are told to do by the World Athletics. And I think the most important thing that I like is that the World Athletics will be sending 2 people down to Lagos next week Tuesday to come and in 2 weeks' time to come and test the athletes that are coming here, because it's an Olympic qualifier. And I think that one also is good for us, meaning that they reckon with the event, they love the event, and they want people to come and qualify for Olympic Games. And the more people that can qualify here, also the better for us as a country, as a nation, that people will say, well, I went to Lagos to qualify for Olympic Games 2020. I think we are good, but we must have to maintain the COVID-19 protocol.
All right. Yusuf Ali, Technical Director of Lagos City Marathon. I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully we'll get to do this some other time. And all the best for the Lagos City Marathon.
Thank you very much.
All right. So that's it. We'll be having a chat with Technical Director of the Lagos City Marathon. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll be talking about things happening on the domestic scene and a piece of sad news for the Nigerian football family today. We'll talk about that and more when we return from this break.
Whether you like...
All right, welcome back. Let's start with the news that we didn't want to hear, that we got. It's something a lot of us are sad to hear. Let's talk about former assistant coach of the Super Eagles, goalkeeper trainer to be precise, Jogo Bonito. That's what it's called, Joe Erico. The news is that he has passed away at the age of 71. And, at some point we thought all of this, it's part of life, but the people that you love, when you hear of their demise, it kind of leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. I remember the good work he did with Shuaibu Amadu and Stephen Keshi while they were with the national team. I had fond memories of most of his interviews, how passionate he is, how he talks about football. I mean, for those who don't know, he made his debut for the then Green Eagles in an African Cup of Nations qualifying match against Zambia in July 1973. And he was in goal for the 6 matches that we played at the 1976 African Cup of Nations in Ethiopia. He's nicknamed Jogo Bonito. He was part of the coaching crew along late Amadu Shuaibu, late Stephen Keshi, who qualified Nigeria for Korea, Japan, 2002. When I see him, he reminds me of Sam Allardyce and that's his assistant, Sammy Lee. They had that relationship that, but he's gone. What else can we say? I pray that the Lord will grant his family the fortitude to be at the loss.
And the fact that from reports among the family members said they were together a night before, just complaining about aches, then they thought it was malaria, treated for malaria, went to bed, and that was everything. One of the things I like the most is the nickname Jogo Bonito, because my small playing days, I was with a team called Jogo Bonito from Paul Bankole was the owner then. You enjoyed playing, the name itself means beautiful game. Some could say football, whatever. It means while he was coaching, he had his style. And there's no better way to play. So when you enjoy the beautiful game, like one of the reasons why many like the Pep Guardiolas is because of the beautiful style of play. And you can't call goalkeepers in Nigerian history. You definitely call Joe Erico. It's so much more that people don't even know Erico is not the name, right? It is Eric. And the interesting thing is sports in his family transcends to his generation. Remember, his son was part of the Tigers that went to the last FIBA World Cup. He would definitely be missed. And the same way, when you're talking of 3 people, himself, Shuaibu Amadu, Stephen Keshi, all late now, they helped. If they did nothing for Nigeria, even while they were playing, if they did nothing, the fact that they brought us from the dead, as when they took over from, I think, Bofrejo, we were not going to qualify for the World Cup. And they needed to win 3 games. And these guys took charge, won 3 games. Unfortunately, they couldn't lead the team to the World Cup. Yeah, I think he would definitely be remembered from... Even if you didn't watch him play at all, if you read through the history of Nigerian football, Joe Erico's name would definitely be mentioned any day, anytime. 10 years from now, 100 years from now, Joe Erico's name is definitely in the marble of history.
All right, so that's it. He has left his mark in the sands of time, and history will be fair to him for his contributions to Nigerian football. And I think it's only fitting that we pay our respects to him for all that he has done for football. And also, once again, I say that I pray the family will have God will grant them the fortitude to bear this loss. All right, let's move on and go to the English Premier League. Our own situation report, if I could put it that way. Let's look at what's happening in the game currently going on. For Liverpool, now they have to start chasing. They were on the top, but now they have to start chasing. And if you're chasing something, you don't want to face Sean Dyche and his Burnley because they know how to frustrate. They know how to lock things up. And I don't know. Jurgen Klopp keeps defending his side by saying nothing is wrong. We're playing well. The intensity has not dropped. But in the starting lineup today, you didn't have Mo Salah. You didn't have Bobby Firmino.
The interesting thing is Liverpool have not scored in over 3 games. I think they are running to 400 minutes and without a goal. Liverpool team with Salah, Firmino, Mane, even in their last 5, they've scored just 1.
Yeah.
Something is definitely wrong. He may not say it out like the manager of the team. And when you hear the board too, they'll back the manager. I think that's what it's meant to be. But when they will sack like Real Madrid tried to defend today, talking about we were the ones who sold this and that. I think there's a problem with the front guys. And remember at the start of the season, they had a certain new signing who looked to be the rave. That's in Diogo Jota. Since he picked up injury, the goals have not been coming. They need to find a way to start scoring. And like you talk about Sean Dyche and Burnley, they don't buy, they don't sell, they don't score, they don't concede. Just 1 or 2 goals, and that's all. And like people say, just do the basics. You may not have the best, but just do the basics. And that's exactly from the first 24 minutes of the game, Liverpool have been struggling. Even Burnley have had more attempts to score than Liverpool. It means something is wrong, and you cannot continue with the same players for 4 years, same pattern, at that intensity. First year, I thought they would probably slow down. Second year, they didn't. Third year, fourth year. I think the slowdown is understandable and it's expected. They need to find a way around. January transfer window is still open. It looks more like there's even no transfer window. Nobody's talking about anything. Everybody's just quiet. But Liverpool need answers, and they need it very fast.
All right. It's a COVID-affected season, and money not easy to come by. So maybe that's why a lot of them are silent. So we'll see what happens. If there's anything to report, we'll go back to Anfield and tell you. But situation report, like I said, as it stands, it's goalless. And if Liverpool do not win, they will remain in that 4th position. All right, let's talk about somebody who probably will be licking his wounds right now. Sergio Aguero, the Argentine striker who plays for Manchester City. The worst, what he feared most, let me put it that way, has happened. He was self-isolating, came into contact with somebody that had COVID-19, but now he has tested positive for COVID-19. He has battled injuries, and while we thought, okay, he's back, then this happens.
If there's anything called bad luck, this season with Aguero, I think that's what it is for him, from injury to form. I remember when he got back, played a few minutes, questions of why didn't Pep sign. He said point blank, with the way he is now, with the age and everything, you can't force Aguero to play now. You have to manage it well. And it feels like City are getting back into that rhythm that maybe Aguero could be the missing link up front. Now with tested positive again. Remember, City had issues with COVID-19 at the point. They had to miss some games. Now they are star man in code, the record goal scorer for the club. No matter what, at least for a few days, he has to go into self-isolation. I think I don't think there will be any worse sadness for Aguero, at least for now, than this one. But it is what it is. He has to go into isolation. Hope he recovers fast. We've heard players recover in a few days, and we've heard some players like Osimhen still testing positive after a while. So I wish him all the best. Same for Nigeria's Osimhen. We just need them to get back to playing football. If those guys are all out, we are not getting entertained. We will have nothing to report. So I wish Aguero all the best with his isolation.
Yeah, wish he gets back as quickly as he can. All right, so let's go to Cameroon now and talk football on the continent. Let's talk about the African Nations Championship. Nigeria is not there, but we have a job to do. We have to report what is happening. A sporting event of that magnitude, of course, we can't ignore. And of course, our African brothers are all there. So, results. Let's take a look at it. Group B results. And Libya played a 1-1 draw with DR Congo. DR Congo leading with 4 points. We'll have to wait for what happens between Congo, Brazzaville, and the Niger Republic. But at the stance, it's 1-1. It's 1-1. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait for the game to end. But I think even if any of these sides win, I think DR Congo probably will still be on top.
I think even Nigeria probably got the first goal in the game. I think Nigerians don't even know this event is on. Yeah. Main Nigeria is not there. What are we watching? But like you rightly said, we just probably have to report what's on. Yeah, that's even with Nigeria there. People don't really care about CHAN tournament. Then the fact that the only hope of following is not there, everybody just abandoned. But I think it's getting interesting so far. No team has 100%, except those that played one game each. It means there's a huge competition. Even Cameroon, the host, they have just 4 points in their first 2 games of the tournament. But for this group, DR Congo, like Riley said, they have their 4 points already. Whatever happens in the other game, they will still maintain their 4 points. I think I'm loving the competition, but let's see what happens. Let's see who makes it to the knockout round, where by then And most teams in this tournament, especially the North African teams, even some of their best players for the main national team play in the country. Yeah. It means they are valid to represent in this. So we Nigeria, I mean, we just have to do more. There's nothing wrong in having maybe 10 players in the national team playing in Nigeria. It means they'll be here. We've talked about the likes of Joe Erico. In their days, if not many, most, if not all of them, play in the local league. I think that's one of the reasons.
The aspiration to go abroad wasn't there.
Yeah, I think the man that really was the abroad man was, I can't remember, the late, what's his name, that has a statue at the National Stadium in Lagos. He is the one of those that, okay, yeah, abroad guy. Unfortunately, his career was cut short due to the late there. But I think it's interesting. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, this will be a learning curve for Nigeria. And come the next CHAN event, we'll be there.
Were you talking about Sam Okparaji?
Yeah, Sam Okparaji, yeah.
All right, so let's take a look at what's going to happen tomorrow. Still in the same competition. This competition is a dress rehearsal for the main one. That's the African Cup of Nations. So let's see what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Morocco and Rwanda will play. You also have Uganda will take on Togo. Those are the fixtures for the CHAN, talking about the African Nations Championship. There you have it. So these are the matches to be played tomorrow in Group C. All right, we'll leave it at that. That's the information to report. All right, let's go back to the global scene and talk about a threat that has been put out there. World Football Governing Body says players will feature in any breakaway European Super League will be banned from playing in FIFA competitions, including the World Cup. In a joint statement with European Governing Body UEFA and the other 5 continental confederations, FIFA said they would not recognize any such breakaway league. I mean, this thing has been on for many years. You keep hearing that some of the top clubs want a breakaway league, but now FIFA has come out, UEFA has come out. The statement was a response to what it called recent media speculation. I think it gained some momentum in the last few months about the breakaway by some of the world's richest clubs. In October, outgoing Barcelona president Josep Maria Bartomeu claimed the club had accepted a proposal to play in a future European Super League. I mean, this is just trying to nip it in the bud. FIFA and the continental governing bodies have shown their displeasure to any attempt to break away from the current structure.
Well, looking at the World Cup, I had to change my mind. Well, it's a good view, but I think I agree with FIFA on this one. The players are stressed enough. Yeah. Especially this COVID period, you play almost every 2-3 days. You have different competitions and everything. And the next summer where players will rest, I think it's in 2025 or thereabout. Because from now, there will be Olympic Games to Euros to World Cup, following AFCON, everything. So I think they should let these players be. It's selfishness, actually, from the top clubs. They just want to make more money for themselves. Remember, there was a proposal from, I think, Liverpool United on how to share money in England that was rebuffed. It's supposed to be a team game. Yes, team individually and team for the entire country, the entire continent this time around. The Champions League is the most entertaining club football tournament. What are they looking for again? The interesting thing is, if you go, most of the teams that make from probably semi-final of the Champions League will still be the ones at the Super League. So what are you looking for? Now it will now be probably a team like Arsenal who struggle to make Champions League will get to this. I think I support FIFA. They've said this thing a long time ago. Now they are reiterating like after some media reports. If you join this event, you are not playing. And I don't think any player, for example, a Messi, Ronaldo, that still have hopes of winning the World Cup would go. No, I think they would not. I like the stance. I just hope they will follow through. Not after maybe 2 weeks or 2 months, they will change their mind after deliberations. No, I love their stand and I love what they're doing.
I want to ask you this. Would the scenario have been different if FIFA was saying one thing and UEFA was saying another?
It could have been different, actually. But for them to come together, it means they reason the same way. And it begs the question, where is this idea coming from?
The rich clubs.
I think, yeah, the Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern, Man United. It shows they are selfish. The interesting thing is, Man U.
It's all about money.
It's all about money. That's what they are about. Man U are probably the biggest club in England, one of the biggest in the world. And if they go, I told some of my fans, if you guys go there, you'll still not win. So why are you stressing yourself? Just focus on the Europa League where you may win. And the annoying part is they are trying to break away from the Champions League completely. If it's you compete and maybe in the summer you just gather yourselves and do whatever, it's a different thing. They want to break out of the Champions League and focus on their own. I love the stand, but like you rightly said, if FIFA agreed with the breakaway or the Super League and UEFA won Champions League, it probably would have been a chaos that would be in court for a long time. But this time around, the world body and the European body are together. They won't. This event won't hold, and if they do, well, it means some of them will lose their place in the Champions League and World Cup.
The likely scenario for this to happen will be that the clubs will be ready to move away from the umbrella of FIFA, from the umbrella of UEFA, and the question will now be: is the cost? Is the cost not? Is the price not too much to pay?
The truth is, UEFA. I remember UEFA Nations League is a brilliant event, but people don't even care that much. Everybody focus on the Champions League. If they break away thinking because we have our fan base, they'll be shocked everyone will change attention. I'll probably look for one or two other clubs to support because the Champions League, for example, last season was so entertaining that some of the clubs we predicted would go far did not. It means there's still lots of competition in this event. When there's a breakaway, in any tournament, they are meant to be the best and the rest. But this time around, you just have the best teams in quotes. No, we don't want. I myself, if I can vote, I'll vote against it. And I like that UEFA and FIFA are standing against it. They've produced different dates, proposed dates, 2030, 20 whatever. This event will not hold. They should not be selfish. Do enough to win every tournament so you can get more money.
And finally, before we leave this matter altogether, do you think that this is the final nail on the coffin of this breakaway league? I've been hearing this for many years. Many years. It goes down, comes up, goes down, comes up. I mean, there's no fire, there's no smoke without fire. Something like that. But do you think this is the final nail on the coffin? We're not going to hear it anymore now that FIFA has come out and they brought all the associations under them to follow suit.
It could be because the previous times FIFA said one or two things. They are just reports that FIFA said. This time around, they released a statement that if you go for any breakaway tournament, just forget the World Cup. You can't even play Club World Cup if you don't play the Champions League. And I think they're making a stand. This time around, I believe players should also speak up. Because if I want to go to the World Cup and my club decides to go, I'd rather leave the club. So I'll tell them I am not competing in any event. For players from those top clubs, if they gather themselves and start speaking, you can't sell every player. It's not possible. So I think this is the final straw from FIFA and nothing is changing
and
their
the elite
mind.
club needs the elite players.
Yep.
If the elite players are not there, the attraction. I mean, you look at
the small clubs will become the elite clubs.
The Real Madrid and all these big clubs, you are attracted to them because usually they have the best
players. Yeah.
Players, and if those players refuse to be part of it,
then you become
the brand, something
you become
the
maybe
brand.
Arsenal. I'm sorry, Arsenal fans.
What did you have to say? All right, let's move on the show and talk about UEFA. Of course, UEFA is considering hosting the Euros. That was supposed to have been held last year. It's going to be held this year. They're thinking of holding it in just one country. The plan was to have 12 cities in Europe, 12 cities from different countries host. Spain. They wanted to spread it. But now the situation with COVID-19 is making them consider, probably just staging it, having something like a bubble, something like that. Bayern Munich CEO, that's Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, says UEFA is weighing up whether to stage the European Championship in one country this summer rather than across the continent as planned due to COVID-19. The 24-nation tournament, which is a major revenue generator for European football governing body and national federations, was postponed 12 months due to the pandemic. The tournament is scheduled to start on June the 11th in 12 cities across Europe. But Karl-Heinz Rummenigge says the concept was dreamed up before the novel coronavirus. Now we have the coronavirus. So UEFA is expected to make a decision on the fate of the tournament in March. So they're already thinking about it. With COVID-19, can we successfully host this in 12 cities?
I think I understand what they're saying because it's meant to be Euro 2020 with lots of tourism. Those cities would have made lots of money. Yes, European cities, their borders can easily move across states. But with what we have now, maybe they have to move their tourism to, we have hosts for 2024, so probably move it to 28. And I know before you blink, 28 is here if all things work well. So I think I understand them now. If they are going 12 cities, it means so much movement for the players. Remember what NBA did? They had to just camp everyone in a bubble, sort it out.
If you're not careful, you become a spreader.
Yeah, because if you go everywhere, if, for example, they're in Spain today, they'll be in a different hotel. If you move to Portugal tomorrow, they'll be in a different hotel. Movements, contact with different waiters and everything. I think it's for safety measures. If that's the only way for everyone to be safe, for us to watch Euro 2020 without any disturbance, I think I agree with them. Let's just have it in one city. Yes, other cities have spent money. Yes, other cities are ready and everything, but it's when you are alive, you think about spending money. When you die or anything, you won't remember what you spent. So if it means moving the tour to another event, unfortunately, some players will probably have retired by then, but we want to watch the tournaments. We want to see what happens. So if it means having one city, the host countries have to just gather together, agree on which city you want to have it, and let's move on.
All right, so agree. Which city will likely bail the cat? Which are the cities you think, European cities that will say, okay, I open my house, everybody come?
I think it will be between the hosts or cities for this last round. I won't be shocked if they probably pick between Spain and Portugal. Remember, they are probably the closest. Their border is just a stroll. You can walk past. So it could be between one of those two countries. In Spain, there are lots of popular stadiums from top clubs, Real Madrid Stadium, Barcelona, and everything. So I think it could be between Spain and Portugal.
Okay, all right. We'll see. UEFA is expected to make a decision by March. So we'll see if they decide to just stage it in one country and forget about that multi-nation approach that they wanted to do before. So fingers crossed, we'll see what happened. But of course, COVID-19 making a lot of things change in your exciting world of sports. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll talk about the Olympics. We'll also spare a thought for what is currently going on in the English Premier League. All right, welcome back. Let's quickly talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. Like Bolu said, I wanted to let that slide, but of course, Bolu won't let me. So let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. And every time you just want to draw a line and say, this is how far this man can go, he looks at you, looks at the line you have drawn, and surpasses it.
I'm sure over 50 years ago when Joseph Bican got those goals, even though there are still reports of 802, but the difference is goals for senior team. People are mixing it up with goals overall. That's including on the 17 and or preseason friendlies and all. Like I jokingly tell people, now the Pele's goal, they probably counted NYC goals and principal goals. But his senior appearance, that's for your senior club, not for the youth team or anything. Then your national team, not underage, that's 760 goals. I'm sure when Bican had that record years ago, people thought it would be very difficult, especially when Pele got very close but couldn't go past it. But here we are talking about Ronaldo hitting that mark. And the interesting thing is Messi may not surpass Ronaldo, but Messi will definitely hit that 760 of Bican. And it shows over time that this guy is not stopping. A few weeks ago, he hit the record of scoring at least 15 league goals in 15 consecutive years. There's something this guy is doing well. When he got to Juve at 33, they said he had the body of a 20-year-old. He's doing something right. And it always choose the stage to show off. Remember, he could have scored a goal against Inter Milan, not defending him for not scoring, but he couldn't get a goal. But here came a final of a tournament, the Super Cup final, stepped up, got a beautiful goal to hit a mark. You may think he doesn't. He knows he's going to hit a record. And now his focus is back to Alida's record. He's just 7 goals away from... No, he will hit that record because Ronaldo has said he wants to... That's him. If his body allows, wants to go for the next World Cup. And the next World Cup is in a year. He will play probably a few games before that time. Yeah. So I think Ronaldo, a good record, the world deserves. Now is the most prolific goal scorer of all time.
It's hard to bet against Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think all the comparisons and all these discussions should us stop. We should be glad that we have both of them. We are alive to see two of the best players.
Most of all those guys, they play different generations.
Yes.
Pele, Maradona.
But to have two of these players
competing together, breaking records, setting records, winning individually. I think I tell people, maybe for bias reason, maybe Ronaldo play for Madrid. I prefer Ronaldo, but I respect Messi a lot. I can be teasing you, but you'll see me. You read social media around people insulting themselves for those guys.
Nah. They're just
phenomenal. They have a few more years for us to enjoy them. Just enjoy now and move on
while it lasts. All right, let's go to England quickly and see what's happening with the English Premier League. Bolo has been trying to monitor what's happening, even though he's with me in the studio. So let's just see what's happening. Will Liverpool climb up to the second position? It looks like they might not. It's still goalless. as we speak. Still a lot of time to do something, but the signs are there. They've not scored in the last 3 matches. This is the 4th game. We'll see what happens in that one, Bolu. All right, let's quickly move on. Our parting shot for today will be the Olympics. Let's leave the English Premier League and talk about the Olympics. I told you earlier that the IOC president says there's no plan B, but health experts are worried, and they're saying, look, you have to reconsider a whole lot of things. Let's listen to one of the health experts talking about what should happen, what should be done about the Olympics.
Do you have to risk that? By holding Olympic Games? I don't think so. Japan had to postpone the Olympic Games last year. Now we are facing with far more danger than last year. So why do you have to hold the Olympic Games, which was cancelled last year due to the risk of the infection? This year, despite of the much higher risk we have to face.
All right, that's the virus expert Kentaro Iwata. I believe hosting the world's biggest sporting event, it's a gamble. A lot of people don't want to listen to things like this, but we have to so that we can balance everything. He says it's a gamble, even with the presence of a vaccine.
There was a survey in Japan. I think it took it to be specific online, and about 80% of them said they don't want
the
to.
residents?
Not because they don't want to, but they are scared.
The risk is just far
It's just too much. I think the only sensible way of hosting these events, if it still continues like this, is just maybe do what they did. I always give the NBA as an example because they did so well. If it means everyone that will participate, not athletes this time around, I mean those that will be working around, janitor, everything, when you are sure, after testing, these guys are good. If they can stay a month away from their family, just calm them. Because when they come probably clean till they go back home, that's risk. When they come tomorrow, go back home, that's risk. If you are sure after
the essential workers,
everyone be together.
Essential workers, athletes.
But there'll be thousands, hundreds of thousands.
It's difficult.
So they have to think about all the possibilities. I like the spirit. We all want it to host, but safety is the most important thing. Very, very key.
All right. All right, so there's still a lot of time to get something done, and a lot of us want to see the Olympics, but health and safety comes first. Well, that's a wrap on the show tonight, but first I want to thank Bolu Omoni for taking our time to be with me. He's looking at the screen. Nothing has changed. Bolu, I want to thank you for your time on the show.
Yeah, it's good to be here again.
All right. Thank you as well for allowing us to be a part of your day. We enjoyed this. We'll be back again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.